What's going on, everyone? So clearly, Jimmy Butler watches the channel because all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler is interested in the Phoenix Suns. And Phoenix is one of the teams that I talked about before we actually got confirmation that he was available for trade and all this came out. I made a video a couple days ago, maybe a week ago now, talking about a Phoenix Suns and Miami Heat trade that I thought just Jimmy Butler for a Bradley Beal kind of swap. Obviously, both teams have cap implications, so you have to kind of do some configuring. Neither side can take on more salary, right? And it's close, but it's not quite there, right? It's like $2 million off, so you probably have to add another piece, add a third team, give up a second, whatever, but you could get it done. And both Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal make a ton of sense on the opposite teams. You're probably not getting a better return than Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler. It allows Miami to still remain competitive. Both guys have injury issues. Both guys have insane contracts. Just at least for the Phoenix side of things, Jimmy Butler fills a lot of needs for that team. I'll touch on that here in a moment on the Jimmy side of things. But the Miami Heat side of things, I think, is easier, right? You get a younger player, get a legit scorer who can go back to being a 35-5 guy, right? He gets to kind of play his role. It's something that they really need. They have the do the dirty work, do everything type of players already. They need that guy that can just take over and handle the workload, play alongside Bam Adebayo, and kind of retool and work around Beal and Bam Adebayo. Like I said, what package are you getting better than that? Right? Could Warriors trade, maybe get Kuminga and Moody and couple firsts and Andrew Wiggins or something, right? So maybe, but that's more of like a rebuild package, right? Like if that's the case, then you should just rebuild. Trade Bam, trade everything and hit the reset button. Trade Tyler Hero, tear it all down. But I think if you could get a Bradley Beal to Miami, he wanted to be in Miami. Got to keep in mind, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. But he even said himself, even in a recent interview, like a month ago, that he thought it was Miami. He thought he was headed to Miami. He wanted to go to Miami. And then all of a sudden, the Phoenix Suns trade ended up going down. He was like, wow, like he was surprised by that. So he wants to be in Miami. He would probably lift his no trade clause in Miami. I think it's a win for Miami. Right, work some stuff out. Now you can kind of retool. You know what your foundation piece is. You don't have to worry about Jimmy Butler's age and him making $60 million a year going forward. Bradley Beal's going to be making like $60 million a year. But you just know if you're Miami the position you're in now. Rather than this kind of mystery cloud that is hanging over with Jimmy Butler. From a Phoenix side of things, it makes all the sense in the world. Right? I said from the beginning. Right? People already were like, just give Phoenix the championship. I made a video saying that it's not going to work. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, it's not going to work. And people told me I was crazy. People told me I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you don't know basketball, blah, blah. And I was like, where do we get the idea that Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant make sense? Neither of them are big enough to really play the three. Neither of them are good enough playmakers to play the point. And all three guys are essentially the same players. You have no size, no defense, no nothing. You're not winning anything. Right? They have a good record with Kevin Durant, but that's because Kevin Durant is just that good. Right? And guess what they have without Kevin Durant? A losing, like a bad record. Because Bradley Beal and Devin Booker make no sense. They're essentially the same player. Right? Whichever you want to rank higher than the other, whatever, they're essentially want to do the same thing. Neither is good enough as a playmaker to take a back seat. That's why they went and got Tyus Jones. Right? So that way he could try to kind of put everything together. It's not that I don't believe big threes can work. I do believe big threes can work. But you need a big three that makes sense. The players have to make sense. You already had Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Right? Like, you were better off keeping Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton rather than going and trading for Bradley Beal. Because it just, you needed the complementary pieces. You had the offensive 1-2 fire punch with Booker and KD. You didn't need to go get another fire punch. Now you're just trying to outscore teams. You lack size, you lack rebounding. They were one of the worst fourth quarter teams, or the worst fourth quarter team in the league last year. They haven't been that much better this season unless Kevin Durant just completely takes over, wins the game. There's clearly a pecking order. Go get Jimmy Butler. Right? Jimmy Butler makes more sense because now you get a guy in Jimmy Butler, who gives you the defense, gives you just the dirty work, strengths, do everything, Swiss Army knife type guy. He's also a guy, he doesn't care. He just wants to win. He doesn't care if he drops 50 or he drops 5. Either way, he's okay with it. Hey, KD, Booker, go get your 30 each. go drop 60. I'll chip in. I'll get my 15. I'll defend this guy over here. I'll give the hard fouls. I'll take the charges. I'll do the dirty work. Like, it makes more sense than what you have right now with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. So I think it's a no-brainer. It's why I talked about it, made a video about it. I was like, dude, you got an easy solution for both sides. Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler. Whatever little nuances you got to figure out, that's up to the organization. Figure out what third team, what third piece, whatever you have to send out to make it work. But make it work. Because I just think you solve what both teams need, right? The Miami Heat need that just bucket getter, particularly during the regular season and the playoffs. Jimmy Butler, during the playoffs, is that guy. Jimmy Butler has done more with less than anybody, which would, I think, again, benefit the Phoenix Suns. I think teams would be more scared to play Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker than Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. Like, teams aren't worried about Phoenix, right? Like, again, Phoenix would probably be a good regular season team. They'll probably finish, the fifth seed again like last season. And then they're going to get to the playoffs. And then when defenses tighten up and you're playing tougher matchups and the game gets more physical and all that, Phoenix is just going to get ran through again. Usually don't go from being a first round sweep to all of a sudden you're the best team in the league. That rarely happens, especially when you have the main nucleus is the same. Right? Yeah, they got Tyus Jones, stuff like that. Hasn't been as great as they had hoped. I don't think that they beat half the teams in the Western Conference. I don't think that they're good enough to win a championship. Now, if you add a Jimmy Butler, who can elevate and just take over and win your games by himself, but also do the dirty work, also handle both sides of the basketball, also help rebound, make plays, do all the things that you need him to do, I just think that that's just a much better position. And then from Miami side of things, again, now you can look to trade Tyler Hero. Now you can look to trade some other pieces. And kind of now you have Bam and Bradley Beal, who Bradley Beal's a guy that can go give you 30 a night. We've seen him do it. He's not that far removed. Go give you 30 plus a night. Be that consistent go-to bucket getter and scorer. Like I said, you already have all the dirty work, guys. You already have the pieces that fit around those guys. I would look to basically trade Terry Rozier, trade Tyler Hero, because you don't need those guys at that point. Can flip dunk around. I would look to kind of just, take the next year and a half, right, to really start carving out what you need to do around Bradley Beal and Bam Adebayo, right? Put yourself in a position to where, okay, now you got those two. Now you're just kind of get those defensive pieces. Can you get that two-way point guard, right? And now you're in good shape, right? And then Ware will be back, and you got Jaime Jaquez and stuff. Like, I think you're in good shape. I think that it's one of the few trades that make sense for both sides. It's an easy kind of swap. You're not trading Devin Booker. You're not trading Kevin Durant. You keep those two. I think it raises the ceiling for Phoenix. I think you're probably just as good, maybe even better, because one of the biggest problems with Jimmy Butler is he doesn't take the regular season that serious. But he doesn't have to on Phoenix because you got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, right? Like, you look at Miami, Jimmy likes to say, like, oh, there's no difference between playoff Jimmy and regular Jimmy. Well, there clearly is. Like, you see it. The stats, everything just screams Jimmy's better in the playoffs, right? And, he's even been called out by Miami, right? Where Bradley Beal's going every game that he plays, he's going to show up, and he's going to be the best version of himself. I just think potential Miami might even be better with Bradley Beal, right? I don't think that Jimmy is playoff. Jimmy is insane. And we've already seen he's proven. So I don't know about playoffs, but if you build the team around them, then maybe, right? I just think during the course, instead of you being a play-in team every year, I think you'll be at least top 5 seed in the regular Eastern Conference, right? And then again for Phoenix, I think you're a much better team. I think at that point you're probably top 3 to 5. I just think you have a better chance of winning a championship. The pieces make more sense. Better defensively. Again, you got like the pecking order. Like, that's the problem at times. Like, Phoenix just looks awkward. It's like, okay, is KD the guy? Is Devin Booker the guy? Are they both the guy? Like, okay, well, what about Bradley Beal? Okay, Bradley Beal the guy tonight? Like, what's happening here, right? And it's a lot of like, you go, I go, you go, I go. We're with, I think, Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't care. He'd be like, hey, you two are the other guys, right? I'm the third guy. I'll give you 15, 20, whatever you need me to do. One of you having an off night, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'll just operate over here and I'll handle this. I got it. Don't worry. Like, I just think they're in a much better position. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think, Jimmy Butler in Phoenix makes sense? Bradley Beal in Miami makes sense? How do you feel? Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.